Anschluss with Austria, 1938. When Hitler had tried to invade and join with Austria in 1934, Mussolini, who was then not his ally, had stopped him and prevented him, and Hitler had to back down. In 1938, things were very different. The Nazi Party had remained strong in Austria, and there was chat that the Nazi Party were now planning another attempt to overthrow the Austrian government. The Chancellor at the time was a man called Schuschnigg, and he immediately wrote to Hitler asking for help and to say, look, this plotting is ridiculous, please can you leave us in peace? Hitler refused, and instead of helping put down any pressure that might be there, he actually tried to put pressure on Schuschnigg and forcing him to resign so somebody who was loyal to Hitler could take over. Hitler wanted this man, Seyss-Inquart, to be made leader because he was a Nazi sympathiser. He wanted him to be given a role in Schuschnigg's government if needs be, but rather in charge himself as leader of the police force, so he could have law and order control and Hitler could then pretty much orchestrate whatever he wanted to. There was a lot of riots and demonstrations in Vienna, the capital, and across Austria, all fueled by the Nazi Party, and Hitler encouraged all of this. Seyss-Inquart was in charge of the law and order, but he refused to stop them. Schuschnigg made a gamble. He said, right, I will then call a plebiscite, a vote, just to see who wants to be independent Austria and who would like to be joined with Germany, Austria. Now, Hitler was worried about this because he doesn't do elections because you can't guarantee the outcome. There were a lot of Austrians that did want to join with Germany, but there were plenty that didn't, and Hitler wasn't prepared to take the risk. Hitler now knows he's up against it, so he moves troops onto the border, forcing Schuschnigg to resign and the plebiscite be stopped. I assume Schuschnigg, all through this, was sort of assuming that Britain and France might come to its assistance, but when it was obvious that wasn't going to happen, Schuschnigg decides he has to resign. Just as Hitler now wanted, Seyss-Inquart replaces Schuschnigg as Chancellor and straight away invites the Germans in to restore order. They enter on the 12th of March 1938, another part of the Treaty of Versailles destroyed. About 80,000 people in Austria were rounded up who were anti-German and put in concentration camps. And Seyss-Inquart very quickly hands power in Austria over to Hitler, and an Anschluss was declared. Now it's Hitler's turn to call a plebiscite, but he knows the outcome of this one. So in April of 1938, he asked the people of Russia whether they were happy with the Anschluss, bearing in mind he's just put in concentration camps people who didn't, and the outcome was a 99.7% vote in favour. Once again, Britain and France did nothing. They protested, wagged their finger, stamped their foot, but did nothing really. They were quite sympathetic, saying that Germany and Austria were very similar, traditions, language, customs. And there's been a vote. And if the vote says what it does, 99.7%, then you can't go against the people.